I remember being so hyped for 2015's Fantastic Four, even if nobody else seemed to be. The darker tone from the trailer looked amazing, and even if it didn't work for everyone, I was really confident that it was gonna work for me. And then I saw the movie, and...
What?
I'll be honest though, the first 30-45 minutes of that movie, they're not terrible, it's nothing special, but once that movie hits like the 1 year later mark and makes that time jump, it completely shifts, becomes a different movie, and is absolute dog. Even Josh Trank, the director, has openly stated his dissatisfaction with the final movie, even tweeting this one day before the movie was released. A year ago, I had a fantastic version of this, and it would have received great reviews. You'll probably never see it. That's reality though. Yikes. He also claims that he expected a $150 million budget from 20th Century Fox at the time, but he was only given $122 million instead on the first day of shooting. But much like Zack Snyder's version of Justice League was released earlier this year and was miles better than the Warner Brothers and Joss Whedon cut of the film from 2017, did the same thing happen with Fantastic Four? Let's talk about it. What's up guys, I'm JacobTSuggs and welcome back to another video. And I know that you guys have wanted a new video for a long time, probably not about something like this, but I figured it'd be a good way to kind of start and get back into the swing of things and hopefully just kind of reboot this channel. I really don't want to leave it dormant again. I know a year ago I said the same thing, but this time I'm trying to be for real. But before we even talk about whether the studio ruined the movie or not, I feel like this is kind of important to keep in mind as well. Before the movie was even released, there were reports of Josh Trank being erratic and abusive on set, even showing up drunk on days that they were supposed to shoot. And possibly because of that reason, Fox took control away from Trank in post-production. The guy was even supposed to have a Star Wars movie about Boba Fett, but that was even yanked away from him. This whole scenario is ultimately one giant case of he said, she said. We don't really know the 100% truth, and quite honestly, I don't think that we ever will. I really don't want to get too deep into this, but it's one of those things to where I felt like it needed to be brought up, even if it's just for the sake of having that context for the sake of this video. But with all of that in mind, is there any evidence that a Josh Trank cut of Fantastic Four, or Fan Four Stick if you want to call it that, even exists? There's a lot of clips from the film's teasers and trailers that didn't end up in the final cut of the movie, including, but not limited to, a major action scene where the Thing dives down from an airplane to Camp Humvee, where he's invincible to the bullets fired by the terrorists at him at the camp. This is in the trailer, you can watch a lot of this scene, and apparently it was cut from the film due to budget constraints. Another scene that was cut was a scene of dialogue between Reed and Victor Von Doom, where Doom's body is strapped to a table when Reed decides to visit him.
Be ready for what's coming.
What is coming?
The answers.
What?
There's also a scene where Johnny Storm was shown fixing a car, and speaking of the Human Torch, there's another scene of him lighting his body on fire after learning about Doom's murderous rampage after his return from Planet Zero. And last but not least, there's a scene of Ben Grimm playing baseball, and in another trailer, a shot of him hitting the baseball at the sign on his family's junkyard. There's also a lot of behind-the-scenes images that hint about how the plot was potentially different, including the cast entering the Fantasticar in front of a green screen. And that's pretty much all that we have for the Trank cut of Fantastic Four. I'm usually always on the side of the filmmaker when it comes to their version of the film being released versus what the studio wants released. I understand that the studio has a role to play, but at the end of the day, they've hired a filmmaker to make their version of the movie, but everything is just really up in the air about this one. Again, I said it earlier, but it's really just a giant case of he said, she said. So the original vision of the movie, it remains almost just as big of a mystery as the Josh Trank cut of this movie. But you know what? Even though I hated that 2015 movie, I really wouldn't be opposed to watching this version if it was ever released. I think it could be interesting, and I mean, by this point, they've got nowhere to go but up. I don't think there's a chance that we're ever gonna get it, especially since the Fantastic Four already have an upcoming movie set within the MCU to be released in a few years, and Josh Trank seems to be very well past this, and has gone on to release the biopic Capone a couple years ago. I don't know. I guess anything's really possible when it comes to director's cuts being released these days. Ever since Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League came out, I've just been, never say never kind of attitude towards the whole ordeal situation, I guess. But as always, if there's anything that you know about this that I didn't say, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you'd be interested in this version of this movie, even if you didn't like the original cut like me, please let me know down in the comments below. Again, I'm going to give an update video soon as to where I've been, what I'm doing, where this channel is going to go, but I wanted to get a concrete, actual video out first. That way it kind of, I guess, sort of makes up for some lost time. Again, I'm Frame by Frame, remember the name, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.